Watch the moment Dame Andrea Jenkyns stormed out of a tense interview with Sky News after her election as the Lincolnshire mayor.
Left when you said he left when you said migrants should be put in tents. That's good enough for France. That should be good enough for them too. Do you think that's a divisive way of conducting politics?
I think it's what the majority and the silent majority think.
That's what you think of migrants. That's where they should.
And illegal migrants, people come here illegally. They should be put in tents like they do in France.
People are seeking asylum should also be put in tents.
Well, I think genuine asylum seekers, like Ukraine, etc., that's a different matter.
And then you also accused one candidate of, she said you were parachuted in,
yes,
and you made a comment about her South African accent. What did you mean by that?
What I meant is, how can they say I've been parachuted in when I spent most of my life in Lincolnshire, school,
Why mention the accent, sorry?
Because the irony of saying someone's been parachuted in who's not even from the country. I mean, I went to school, college, university, so I think...
So someone who's got an accent can't be from this county?
I think, actually, I'm not even going to answer any more of your questions. I think that your questioning is quite divisive. You're looking into things when it was a little play with words, it was a little joke because of the irony. Do you not understand irony?
The only reason I'm asking is because Reform get
She had won the election shortly before.
Thank you. To the people of Lincolnshire, thank you for putting your trust in me. I will work tirelessly for you every day.
That morning, Jenkyns told GB News she had been the victim of a smear campaign orchestrated by her political foes.
Brace yourself for is I mean, the scrutiny is one thing, but the knives are going to be out. I mean, as you've seen in your campaign, the knives are really going to come out, and you're going to have some, and your candidates are going to have some very thick skin.
No, absolutely. I mean, as I said in my speech, I thought it was important to address this, because do you know something? It's been soul-destroying, this campaign. As I said in my speech, I've fought 4 general elections, 3 local elections, and it's been horrible. It's been personal. I mean, the Conservatives have called the police on me. We've had them saying I'm sleeping with political allies. We've had the independent candidate who's even, her husband even had complained to the council, and there's a hearing and our barrister had to get involved. It's been completely dirty, and I think this has probably demonstrated this result, really, that people are switched off by dirty tactics, and it's about restoring that trust. Dirty politics does not work, or it'll only work short term, and we've got to listen to the people and deliver for them, and this is why they've got a vote. They kick people out when... I mean, look, I got kicked out as a Conservative MP. I trust in the electorate, and I will not let the people of Lincolnshire down.
Andrea, you know how difficult it is to be in government, and it's certainly true that the last Conservative government made some unforced errors over things like immigration. But nevertheless, there are some other things that are far, far more difficult to fix. I mean, one of the reasons that taxes are so high is because we have an ageing population. That's not something that anybody, even Reform, can do anything about. How is Reform going to manage expectations about what a potential Farage premiership could actually achieve?
Look, as I said, I'm blown away by the professionalism of Reform, how they're planning, and you'll see more policies released over the coming months, the coming years, and we will deliver. Look, we are well aware of the major issues. As you know, look, I was in government, I was there in the Whip's office trying to defend Boris when key people in his party was bringing him down. I know how tough politics is, and it's probably been a good grounding for me to get through this campaign. And so I know how tough it can be. Reform will continue to be attacked, but I think the narrative will start changing when, especially with mainstream media as well, when they see that we start delivering.
Dame Andrea, it's Christopher Hope here in the studio with Miriam and Stephen. Hello,
Christopher.
Hi, good to see you. What's the future, do you think, for Reform UK? You're a former, as you said there, a Conservative minister. People think that Reform and the Tories should get together, but Is that almost like a wrong argument now, looking at the support your party's winning from Labour supporters? Do you think there's a future for a reform Tory ticket, or is your party gone beyond that?
No, as you know, Christopher, I've been interviewed by you last year. I was trying to, at the time before the general election, unite both parties to stop a Labour supermajority. However, having been on the inside of reform, we don't need that. I mean, what I think is amazing about reform is, as you said, the ability to pull from Labour and Conservative. But what I think is actually uniting people from those two parties to come to reform is, look, it's our country, it's belief in our country, it's fairness in society, it's not wanting to be back of the queue, it's about strong policing, strong defence, and a sense of what is right. And these key things, key threads, is what unites, working class Labour and traditional Tories. And this, look, Thatcher did this, didn't she? She pulled off Labour in '79, and I believe with quite similar type of, grounding. And I do genuinely believe that, having seen how we can pull from both parties, that Nigel will become Prime Minister at the next election.
OK. Dame Andrea Jenkyns, very good to talk to you this morning. You must be absolutely shattered. I hope you get a good few hours sleep. Thanks very much.
I'm going to sleep now. I mean, do you know my outfit?
It's very nice.
As the politics roughens, Reform UK chairman Zia Youssef told GB News he was confident the party could remain united.
And some in opposition parties are hoping that at some point Reform will simply sort of self-combust. We have seen a big falling out. Rupert Lowe is very, very angry with you indeed still. Are you confident that you can remain united over the next 4 years?
Extremely so, extremely so. I think we're going to add more MPs with further parliamentary by-elections. I mean, as you said, this is one of Labour's safest seats in the country. And this parliamentary by-election didn't come 3 years into an unpopular government. It's come 10 months after a supermajority was achieved. And we were up against heavy artillery in terms of Labour's ground campaign machine. That's another really important point when people talk about reform disappearing. We have built durable infrastructure here in the way that, frankly, no prior Nigel Farage party had really managed to build. We've got 460 branches across the country, tens of thousands of volunteers. If we didn't have that, because I know we're talking about Runcorn and Helsby because we're here and it was very nail-biting and exciting, but we shouldn't forget there were 1,630 council seats up and those mayoral positions, and we fought all of those campaigns across this great country simultaneously. We could not have done that without the hard work of all of those branches and grassroots, and we have built that from scratch inside 10 months. And I'll tell you one other thing. However good our campaign was this year, it's going to be twice as good by next year and probably another 50% as good as the year after that.